World. Next is the Goddess of Information here. Yeah, it's a beautiful Marz. That's right, it's Tuesday, and you're now tuned in to Voices Radio, where valuable opportunities inspire collaborations to elevate society. All right. Hey, I missed y'all last week, but I'm here today. All right, so let's get this thing rolling the way we always do. Tonight, I am getting us started with something a little different from one of my, what they say, personal partners, my homie, my brother, even a mentor, Pushalini Duggan. So y'all check out Blind one time with me. All right, off of his recent, and he has some other projects coming up. He has Pain and Games, his singles on the way. All right, so y'all be sure to go and follow him, check him out, listen to him on SoundCloud. Blind Man.
Yeah, catch me smoking on that shit that keep me feeling like I need a nap. All these niggas turning on me, gotta keep a couple straps. Pulling knives out my back, guess I'm on my Caesar shit. Trapped inside a cold world, so I keep the heater with. Never been a weak nigga, 5 feet, 5 inches. But with this pistol bet, I can drop the biggest of niggas. A soldier on a mission, my objective get figures. And fuck what somebody told you, I'll show you I'm that nigga. You spend my time hoping, broke with nothing to smoke. Now I spend my time smoking, hoping I don't go broke. I eat up paper like a bitch ago, cause nigga, I was really broke. I'm trying to stack my money to a height that it ain't seen before. I throw up on the track, so I rap with a believe it flow. This G shit in my blood, something similar to hemoglobin. Smoking on that speakerphone. That's that lie that you ain't know. I'm on in California clouds, no future plans of coming down. In my world. Yeah, guess I'm the rap Ray Charles. I never did see y'all about them 48 laws and a strong faith in my God. First 48 y'all for playing with my 8 balls. No pool table or gay shit. I'm talking about that gay shit. You niggas the replacement. A team full of rejects. Like a spade game, and niggas be trying to renege. Cheaters never win, and that don't only go for kids. You cheat in the wrong game, shit get filed like a tick. Only difference, ain't no refs to blow the whistle. Just some young niggas running wild and reckless with them pistols. Boy, I tell you, keep a strap, cause they shoot for anything. Killing about petty change every day is the same thing. I'm just staying in my lane like I'm riding down a one-way, feeling like Willie Beeman on any given Sunday. Keep a pistol for the gunplay and pray I never use it, cause if a nigga try me, I guarantee I'ma shoot him. In my world.
Peace World. It's Nexus, the Goddess of Information. That was Blind Man by my brother Pushalini to God. Much love to him. Safe travels to your destination, brother. I appreciate you tuning in, all right? And I thank all of you for tuning in on this Marz. Let's see what magic I can drop off today. All right now, in this moment, this minute, this hour. All right. Well, so far, my day has been kind of like the weather, a little calm, chill, a little hot, steamy. And then the rain came and washed it all away. And here we are with more sunshine, and it's a little bit cooler, breezy. Got the birds and stuff chirping and whatnot out the window. So yes, I'm happy to be here because I'm existing. We're existing. So if you will, make sure you hit the share button, share with your friends, share with your neighbors, share with your coworkers, anybody you feel would enjoy, benefit from Voices Radio. All right. Um, Feel free to like us on Facebook, Instagram, follow us, subscribe on YouTube. That's right, we're on YouTube. If you didn't know, just in case, you prefer that platform, we're there. And then also check out the website, www.thevoicesradio.com. All right. Also, we're looking for bloggers, any writers, anyone that just, so yeah, bloggers, writers, somebody that does poetry, current events, things of that nature. Like we have room, we have space for you to express yourself and get out there. All right. Even if we have any graphic artists, designers, we do features. All right. Currently, we have our brother Cedro Almighty Dollar, I featured on the website as our highlighted artist. So y'all make sure y'all go and check out thevoicesradio.com, all right, because you could be our next featured artist or writer, all right? So be sure to do that. In the meantime, in between time, tomorrow, speaking of current events, tomorrow we have Word Up Wednesday. That's right, with Lame Voices. Lame Voices will be taking over the Cove again tomorrow and every Wednesday with Word Up Wednesday. It's an open mic. It's a fun, intimate type environment. They have the 50-cent wings going up. They have the $4 Long Island iced teas. And other drink specials, they have these trash cans, they have these frozen drinks. It's summertime. Everybody likes the nice frozen drink in the summertime. All right. So the Cove Sports Bar is located on between Meredith and Westover Road here in Albany, Georgia. All right. So on a Wednesday evening between 8 and 10 p.m., feel free to come check us out. Feel free to bring your music, take the mic. It's an open mic. It's not just open to poets and storytellers, spoken word artists. It's open to anyone, musicians, singers, rappers. Bring your music. Even if you don't have music, if you're a comedian, you think you're funny, come to the Cove Sports Bar and Grill every Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m., $5. All right. Admission is $5, 21 and up. So make sure you bring your ID. All right. If you are a musician and you're going to bring some music, make sure you bring it on a jump drive, thumb drive. Holler at DJ Proof upon entrance and let him load you up. All right. Get uploaded into the system, sign in on the guest book, and have a good time as we enjoy ourselves on Word Up Wednesday, all right? Put out the Word Up Wednesday. This week is loaded with Lame. All right, so Lame Voices will be hosting their regular Lame Voices open mic special guest performance, the main event on the fourth Saturday. That's right, this Saturday, June 22nd. Doors open at 8, show starts at 9. And we have a good time lined up with our brother Anthony H. And then, hey, one of my favorites, Anthony H has grown to be my favorite too, off of just, 2 times in one of the songs I heard a cappella last month at Lane Voices. He came to Word Up Wednesday. He did it with his music, and he gave us another joint. So I'm excited to see and hear his actual performance, as one of our special guest features. And then we have my brother, your brother, our brother, Kofi Jenkins. That's right, Pillsbury the Dope Boy is coming through Lane Voices again, and he's bringing his friends, Disco Nation. So it's about to go up. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna have a good time. Get your tickets now for the $5, or it's $10 at the door. All right. In that case too, you still want to bring your ID. All right, 21 and up. We we having a good time. Hey, we're having a good time. All right. So it's a whole lot of other cool stuff going on in and around the city. I'll be sure to make sure I do my best to keep you locked in and updated. So again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share. Because this evening, our topic of discussion, being that it's Pride Month, is LGBT alphabet soup. All right, so just off the rip, here on at around Voices Radio, we're all about educating to elevate. All right, so a lot of us don't even know what the letters LGBTQ stand for, what they mean, how they correlate with other things that are going on in life. All right. So I know it's a major topic in society, and so my purpose tonight is to give us a little soul society type perspective on the whole concept. And so, or I don't even want to say concept, but on the lifestyle, some of us call it, or the energy of these beings. And so all of us have our own beliefs, and it's not okay. So L, lesbian; G, gay; LGBT, bisexual; T, transgender; LGBTQ, queer or questioning. All right. And so when we look at it from those perspectives, so what is a lesbian? So by definition, all right, so I'm gonna do my best to give you information that is like you can go and Google it and it will give you these definitions, all right? Or if you are a part of any type of organization where your purpose is to work with people, and these are the conversations that are going on when it comes to like diversity and cultural sensitivity, whether in the workplace or in the community, like this is a topic. All right, so we're going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. I haven't talked about it before, so here we go. So by definition, even when you if you look at the LGBT websites and their legit associations and organizations, a lesbian is defined as a female and a female, right? So two females who are of the same sex who are in a sexual relationship. Then gay would be males. Then you have your bisexuals, so that would be, we like males and females, both sides. Then your transgender is, those individuals. And it's not even necessarily, okay, so let's go back. So it's a difference when we talk about sexual orientation and when we talk about gender identity. All right, so one's gender identity is how they view themselves. All right, when it comes to gender and whether they feel or think or know that they're a man or a woman, regardless of how they look or appear on the outside. All right. And then so sexual orientation is who one chooses or whom one is sexually or romantically, physically attracted to, and have that romantic, intimate type of attraction with. All right. So when we even get into sexual behavior, so one sexual behavior could even differ from their sexual orientation. All right. So when we talk about sexual orientation, and we talk about sexual behavior, one sexual behavior is actually the type of acts that they choose to engage in. All right. So if y'all recall, like the post got deleted for unbeknownst reasons. All right. Nevertheless, the post pretty much was about whether or not a male is gay if his female partner penetrated his anus using a penis. I mean, an artificial male phallus. All right. So It was a lot of conversation, a lot of debate. Nevertheless, from my perspective, my viewpoint, that doesn't make the brother gay necessarily. All right, because that's his sexual behavior. His sexual orientation can be something completely different. All right, so then we have homosexuals, right? Or we just categorize the whole group sometimes as homosexuals. So then going back to your transgender people, transgender is when one actually goes about making some type of change to associate or reflect their sexual orientation to a degree or their gender identity. All right. And so I'm not gonna start giving scenarios. It can get real because you have your cisgender, and cisgender is pretty much like that's again gender. But then you have your asexuals, and then you have that's why it goes into the whole alphabet soup thing, right? Because then we get into a whole lot of other letters and a whole lot of other sexual beliefs where you have your sapiosexuals, those who are sexually and aroused and attracted to the mental, and then so we can go on and on and on. However, being that it's Pride Week, look at my picture. It's colorful, kind of like the rainbow. And so then that will be a whole another conversation too that we could get into. So I would like for some more people to come in and engage in conversation, that way I could really I'm gonna talk about it anyway, but I'm just saying I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself. But I got my people over here on Instagram. I got Facebook going up, and then I have the YouTube popping. All right, so I'm out here. Nevertheless, back to what I was saying about the flag and the colors of the rainbow and what they represent. And we can get into the Kundalini energy and the chakras and the Wajah and how the colors have certain meanings and representations in earth and in nature and with our energy and how we vibrate, and then we can get into, our brothers and sisters who, could look at biblical symbolisms and talk about, the rainbow coming out after the storm and things of that nature. The rainbow is beautiful. Do I feel like we should take this and isolate it to a certain group of people and other people not be able to use it? Or if somebody else is seen with it, they're automatically associated with this group? No, I don't think that's fair. I feel like anyone, anywhere should be able to wear rainbow colors or, and not have to be signaled out as potentially being a part of a certain community. All right. Do I believe it's that we should, have to signal out any group of people, and have like Pride Month because this group of people feels undervalued or depreciated? No. Do I believe that we should have even a Black History Month? Like it should just be people celebrating people and honoring and acknowledging people's greatness all year, regardless of their sexual orientation, regardless of the color of their skin. Clearly, we don't live in that euphoric type of society yet, even though we're beginning to learn that we can create that for ourselves. I have family members, I have friends, associates, however, co-workers, um, people I come in contact with just on a regular basis who identify in certain sexual, what I'm saying, groups, or do I feel like it should be an isolation or clicking of sorts? No. Everybody should be able to go everywhere. Like homosexual people shouldn't have to need their own, like, well, we understand that their lifestyle is a little bit more, it's different. And so that would even take me into like the propaganda and the push, is my concern. I'm okay with this type of people existing. They do not bother me. That part doesn't bother me because I'm okay with who I am as a sexual being, and I know what I have going on and what they have going on in their bedrooms shouldn't matter. And what anyone has going on in their bedroom shouldn't matter to the point where we have to have these major campaigns around who one chooses to sleep with. And then, we get into the debate. Well, civil rights are more important and human rights are more important than, well, it's a difference, yo. Like, it really is. So we're talking about your human and civil rights. Let's just join and stick with the civil rights and human rights campaign, and how some people in this population are isolated and mistreated on the workplace, or they aren't given equal opportunities when it comes to those things. Not just solely about, because, like, when did that ever even become important? They aren't asking you this on your resume. So when you, or I mean, on your job applications and things of that nature. So when we go out and we're in places, what does that matter? If you're that way, be comfortable and confident in who you are and what you're doing. However, I will say that the media, society, has an agenda, and they're pushing certain things in certain manners, to make certain things acceptable. And it most definitely does, for people to even try things on a like feeling type basis. And so when we talk about our feelings, like, we have to know and understand where these feelings are coming from and what these feelings mean and represent. And so, speaking from African, a black, a comedic, melanated perspective, and like I said, keeping it soulful and soul, what I'm saying, and trying to help us to understand and piece this thing together. And so I went back and I was looking at this book, and so it's like it's okay for us to explore like this human body physically, and not necessarily be so confined to sexual restraints, if you will. And so, especially and I understand how it can be conflicting for our brothers and sisters who are in Christianity and, live according to the Bible, because these are people who, on one side, condemn this, but on the other side, condoned it, and some of the greatest people in the book explored, sexual realms. All right, so this is a book that I came across a little while ago, and I actually like this book. And this book helped me to gain some perspective on, intimacy and what that looks like and what that is, as opposed to even engaging in sexual acts, and more, understanding like feelings and attractions and desires. All right. And so, and from a African spiritual perspective, so the spirit of intimacy, it says ancient African teachings in the way of relationships. And this is written by Sabonfu Sume. And so it's based on the traditions and the tribal views of a village, the Dagara people in West Africa. All right. And so chapter 13 talks about homosexuality. All right. And so it's titled, and I'm going to read, what I'm saying? It's not a long chapter. So I'm going to read this in hopes that, even from a spiritual standpoint, we can gain. Because again, I do know and understand that, even understand that we have brothers and sisters who have a purpose and a place here, and because of all of these labels and because of the low vibrational plane in which we exist nowadays, society has taken them in their, sacredness, even if you will, to a whole different place, and turned it into like a freak show, if you will, for lack of better words. So, chapter 13, The Spirit of Intimacy. I ordered this off of Amazon. It's titled Homosexuality, the Gatekeepers. So, the word gay and lesbian do not exist in the village, but there is the word gatekeeper. Gatekeepers are people who live a life at the edge between two worlds, the world of the village and the world of spirit. Though they do not marry in this world, they say they have partners in other dimensions. Okay? All right, so what they do, they don't like to communicate to anyone. It is their right to keep it to themselves. Everybody in the village respects that because without gatekeepers, there is no access to the other worlds. Most people in the West define themselves and others by sexual orientation. This way of looking at gatekeepers will kill the spirit of the gatekeeper. Gatekeepers in the village are able to do their job simply because of strong spiritual connection and also their ability to direct their sexual energy not to other people but to spirit. So that's when I talk about emotion, like sexual energy is an emotion, it's a feeling. And that's why I talk about us being in control of self and learning self and knowing self, like beyond this physical flesh, and actually learning and knowing and gaining understanding on a deeper spiritual level and being able to excel beyond this plane, even though we exist here, like our level of thinking and our level of existing is beyond this. And so even though we're here, we're not here because our gifts and our talents are beyond this. And so that's why when I say it's like we're operating at a low point, because our brothers and sisters who are truly like these gatekeepers can't even focus on this because of the way society is perpetuating and pushing this off. Like it was almost as if like if you were this way, like the people in the village, because we've gotten away from the village concept too, and what tribe and family and unity looks like. All right. And so even though the tribe in the village and the people inside of this circle or unit might have known who you were, what you were, how you were. We didn't know what you did, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't operate on this physical plane when it came to your sexual, you know what I'm saying, self. You were more in tune with spirit. But because we've lost the village, we've lost these teachings and this knowledge and this information and this connection to spirit and to netter, like we're operating and vibrating low, so we're focused on the wrong things. But once we start to clear our eyes and wash away some of this dirt and muck, we can see things differently, from a higher realm, out of our higher self, and know and understand the place for these beings, even though they might not currently be operating in them. Like some of them are going to get there, and I see some of them getting there, and I love them, and I don't want them to feel like they have to focus on this. because they're greater than this, and giving your attention to this takes away from what you are and capable of doing for your people on a higher level. All right. And so it goes on to say, oh, but I wanted to read that again. Gatekeepers in the village are able to do their job simply because of strong spiritual connection and also their ability to direct their sexual energy not to other people but to spirit. The gatekeepers stand on the threshold of the gender line. They are mediators between the two genders. They make sure that there is peace and balance between women and men. If the two genders are in conflict and the whole village is caught in it, the gatekeepers are the ones to bring peace. Gatekeepers do not take sides. They simply act as the sword of truth and integrity. There are many gates that link a village to other worlds. The only people who have access to all these gates are the gatekeepers. I should mention here that there are two different kinds of gatekeepers. The first group has the ability to guard a limited number of gates to the other worlds, specifically those that correspond to the Dagara cosmology: water, earth, fire, mineral, and nature, because they vibrate the energies of those gates. All right. And that's like with any tribe, any culture, any community, whether it's Igbo, whether it's Ifa, whether it's Yoruba, whether it's Hebrew, whether it's Kemetic, whether it's West African, South African, whether it's uh, Celtic, whether it's, whatever. Like we all have these individuals, and so that's why it's important that we tap into spirit to learn our tribes and to be able to connect to those villages and to know which gatekeepers belong to us. All right. And to actually like sit down and talk and get to know your gatekeepers, because we have them in our families and we outcast them and we throw them away and make them feel like they're abnormal or something is wrong with them because we've forgotten. However, it's time that we remember. All right. So that they are great beings, yo. And if we really sit, we really, if we if we really sit and we think about it logically, this is true for those that we attempt to bash and make feel bad about who they are. All right, they're amazing people. We love them. Like they're funny, yet they're stern and they don't take mess. They're lovable, they're kind, they're nurturing. Like they really are the mediators in between. Like they be cool beings, yo, like for real, like. And then once you are able to connect with these gatekeepers, and that's what I'm gonna start calling them, the one, and I'm only call the ones that are actually gatekeepers. Gatekeepers meaning that they have a certain level of spiritual, growth and expansion. Like amazing. Like, yeah. All right. So, okay, here we go. All right. So, what? This is why the vibration of their body is totally different from others. They also have access to other dimensional entities such as the Kotomobit, small beings who are very magical and knowledgeable. And the word is spelled Kontombile. All right, so put that in your vocabulary. They are known as leprechauns in the Irish tradition. Okay, all right. Now, what would happen if you're dealing with a culture that doesn't care about these gateways? What happens is that a gay person cannot do his job. What was I just saying? Was I not just saying this? Okay. Gatekeepers are left unable to accomplish their purpose. This is one of the most distinguishing factors about gays in the village. Now, as to their sexual orientation, nobody cares about this question. They care only about their performance as gatekeepers. I figure if they want people in the village to know about their sexuality, they will share it with them. I once heard that one of the reasons why gatekeepers aren't able to open gates to other dimensions, or that one of the reasons why gatekeepers are able to open gates to other dimensions is in the way they use their sexual energy. Their ability to focus their sexual energy in a particular way allows them to open and close different gates. The life of gay people in the West is in many ways a reaction to pressure from a society that rejects them. Hmm. This is partly because a culture that has forgotten so much about itself will displace certain groups of people, such as the gay community, from their true roles. Oh, wow, I just said that. And it's been a minute since I read this book, yo. Like, ooh, and I just said that. It never made sense to me, though. Okay, so talking about outcasting our brothers and sisters who identify as LGBTQ. Even if it's not for you, that's not how you sexually, like your sexual orientation, that ain't how you identify. Cool. Your sexual behaviors, what you do in your bedroom, even with your female or male mate on a heterosexual cisgender type deal, like how you explore and choose to do, that's on you. You know, like you don't necessarily be all out talking about what you do there. I mean, we got brothers talking about they eat booty like groceries. We got sisters talking about they enjoy it. We got sisters who receive anal. We got brothers who are giving it to the sisters who are receiving it. So what anus is an anus. Nobody is talking about you're homosexual because you give your female partner, you know what I'm saying, or engage in anal sex with them. Like, what is that about? Come on. Like, if it happens for the male on the other end, whether she's using her fingers or an artificial piece, whatever, like, what's the difference? Scientifically and by trial, males, I mean, know and understand some of them that brothers are actually like that's you get extra stimulation there, you know? I mean, let's be just mature about the situation. So, but yes, outcasting these people though. So sometimes we're like, oh yeah, we been knew Lil Johnny was gonna grow up and be like that. Okay, so if we knew Lil Johnny or Lil Susie were gonna grow up to be Big Sam and Lil Jessica, you know what I'm saying? Then why do we love on them and we nurture them and we care for them and we shower them with all of our blessings and cares when they're young, but then when they grow up and they start to act on certain things and they start to dress differently, or you know what I'm saying, they actually start to engage in these type of relationships and come out and blatantly say, hey, I'm this way, like now we're gonna bash them and you can't live here anymore and I hate you and oh no, I'm not with the shit. Like what? And for some of us, it's even to the point where it's like, oh, well, we're carrying this child in the womb, and oh, the father and mother, oh, before the child gets here, oh, no matter, as long as my child has all of this fingers and toes and two eyes and two ears, and it's healthy and strong. I'm gonna love it and I'm gonna care for it and I'm gonna. And then they say, Lil Sue go from yes mom, yes dad to yeah, what up mom, what up dad, like, and you're like, oh no, this isn't the little girl that I raised in the pigtails and dresses, and you're not gonna dress like that, and you're outcasted. Oh, you can't listen to that kind of music because, and what is it with us as a people? Like, where did this ever even start? Like, if you listen to a certain type of music, that makes you gay. And we just classify everything as gay. Oh, I love you, bro. No homo. I love you, sis. No homo. Like, what? Like, do y'all know how crazy y'all be sounding? Like, dude, yo, bruh, it's okay to tell another male that you love him. That doesn't mean that you're about to go and engage in sexual acts with them. We should all love each other. We should tell each other we love each other more. We should stop finding reasons and ways to divide and to stay separated and stagnated and operating at this low vibrational plane of existence. Like the bird's the word. Y'all saw that? A bird the word came to me. I think it depends where you are in it to that dictates your personal response. Right. And this is my personal opinion. And I'm not about to get into no debate. And I'm not about to like, no. I'm not debating it. I love everybody. Everybody's accepted. Am I just blasting heterosexuals only here, homosexuals only here, homosexuals welcome? Like, bruh, I don't have to do that. No one should have to do that for people to feel comfortable and welcome. Like, how you have, I don't care, bruh. Come through with your wife, your husband, your whoever. Like, be happy, be you. Like, we're very shallow as beings right now. And it's just like, whoa. Okay. So back to the book. In the village, they're not, okay, right. In the village, they are not seen as the other. They are not forced to create a separate. See, I be on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. They're not forced to create a separate community in order to survive. People do not put a negative label on them. They are regarded no differently than any other child of the village. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are y'all doing out here? Society. What's up? When I say so, you say excited, so excited. Hey man, elevate, educate to elevate. Let's tap into spirit. Hey yo, let's focus on spirit. Hey yo, let's learn thyself. Let's love thyself. Let's know thyself. Let's give self a little bit of time. When we understand how we operate and how we function and what triggers us, and we're able, even as heterosexual, straight, cisgender beings, let's even learn how to channel our sexual energy in other directions and see what happens for us. Let's see what that does for us. Instead of being so caught up on what somebody else is doing in their bedroom and who they're doing it with. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. But these people are really no different from you at the end of the day. I'm just saying. People do not put a negative label on them. They are regarded no differently than any other child of the village. They are born gatekeepers with specific purposes. and are encouraged to fulfill the role they're born to in the interest of the community. We focusing on the wrong thing. Distractions, distractions, distractions. When you out here blinded by all of this other stuff, like actually planning and organizing Pride Week, Pride Day, instead of over here meditating on how you about to help heal the land and whatnot, and actually knowing and understanding your gifts and abilities to be able to really be the median between the two realms and really be able to bring peace and unity. Like, what are we doing? Trying to get somebody to respect who you sleep with? Bro, nobody cares. Everybody sleep with everybody anyway. Like, just to be honest, I'm just saying. People be sleeping with people in their dreams, in their mental. People be sleeping with people in the physical, like all types of people. And when you sleep with one, you sleep like, bro, we done all slept with a different type of being. Like, whether you know it or not, like spiritually, physically, whatever. Like, let's next. All right. So in the village, gatekeepers have an eye on both genders. They can help the genders to understand each other better than usual in their daily life. That's why a group of women, for example, might gather and bring a male gatekeeper to help them understand certain village issues. The same thing happens on the other side with a female gatekeeper coming into the middle of the men's circle. Now, let's just be clear, because of the world that we live in, we have to like specify and break things down a little bit, like all the way down to sand, gravel. Like, you know, this isn't talking about that chick, you know, the one letting her into the man's circle. And it ain't talking about letting that him into the man's circle that's only there for the sexual benefits and pleasures and trying to, you know what I'm saying, spread they, you know what I'm saying, legs all around the circle. No, we're talking about the gatekeepers. And that's why I say you even yourself have to get in tune with spirit, link up with your tribe, your village, know and understand what's going on. All right. And then be able to properly identify who your gatekeeper is, because you will be able to feel them, yo. Like, you will be able to vibe with them a little bit differently than you vibe with other people on a different level. All right. So I'm silly, I know. Just being me, learning to express myself. But I gotta learn to do this like in real time and not just like here when I think, I mean, when I'm living in the illusion that I'm kind of like talking to myself. All right, so that's why, okay, everything. In the village, homosexuality is seen very differently than it is seen in the West, in part because all sexuality is spiritually based. What did I just say? Didn't I just say like we're all sexual beings. So what type of sexual being you are shouldn't matter. Like, we're all sexual beings. Even when we are filling out certain paperwork and documents, it doesn't even ask us our gender. It asks us our sex. And that shouldn't matter, really. Like, in the people who came up with all of these labels don't even really fully understand these labels. That's why I say, like, labels are whack. Like, we focus on labels too much. Like, we're always trying to label and define and put something in a box, and we get so caught up and lost in the sauce that it's not real. Even us as spiritual beings, when we don't give the energy that we know we should be giving to spirit, like we find ourselves getting lost and trapped out here in this worldly way of existing too. However, we have to be able to catch ourselves. Peace and love, sis. We have to be able to catch ourselves and get back and focus and on track and in line. All right, and give time to what time is due. And it's not necessarily focused on the sexual energy, but where the sexual energy comes from and how it's been used over time and how it's been belittled and downgraded and things that we can start to do to get back to a high plane. All right. Taken away from its spiritual context, it becomes a source of controversy and can be exploited. What I've been talking about, exploitation. That's what I've been talking about. Social media and politics and propaganda has been doing with that's I think that's a yeah. In the village, you would never see gatekeepers or anybody for that matter displaying their sexuality or commenting on the sexuality of others. Mind your business. I'm just mind your business. Mind your business. What going on in your home and your sheets and your bed is your business. Like even we be watching these reality TV shows and everybody talking about what everybody doing in their bedroom. Why is we even talking about this? Why is this even news? Why is this tea? Why is this a tactic that we're using to try and hurt and bring people down? Because how are you making yourself look, putting all your sexual business out here in these streets and things? I'm just saying. Oh, you did it to teach us a lesson. Thank you. We appreciate that. That is what not to do. Gatekeepers hold the keys to other dimensions. They maintain a certain alignment between the spirit world and the world of the village. Without them, on the other side of these gates lie the spirit world or other dimensions. Gatekeepers are in constant communication with beings who live there, who have the ability to teach us how to deal with ritual. And gatekeepers have the capacity to take other people to those places. A gatekeeper's knowledge is different from the knowledge of mentors and elders. This is because elders do not necessarily have access to all the gateways. The gatekeepers, on the other hand, have access to all the dimensions. They can open any gate. Yo, if you out here focused on the next pride parade or the next orgy or people accepting your sexuality or people bashing your sexuality, like if you don't tell it, we don't know it. And that goes for straight people too. Like stop telling all your business and what you're doing in your bedroom. Like focus on your purpose. All right, like your purpose is greater than like these distractions and what they're putting our attention to right now. You know, and the more we stay distracted, the more times like we have to cycle back around through this foolishness. And you know, true elders are wise to this fact. You know, some of our elders accepted, some of our elders rejected it, yet again, it goes back to you tapping into spirit for yourself and you learning and being able to identify and differentiate. What do we say? Discern, like what's really going on. Because it's true. Like when you link up with the ones like on a spiritual plane that are really in tune, like they can go places and they can most definitely take you places too. And if you're distracted, like you're not accessing these gateways, you're not even tapping into the abilities or the tools or the resources before you to tap into these gateways. Like you don't even know that you are able to tap into gateways. You know, so what's up? Gays and lesbians in the West are often very spiritual, but they have been taken away from their connection with spirit. Me feeling is that without that outlet, my feeling is that without that outlet or that role in the culture, they have to find other ways of defining themselves. What was I just saying? This could be one of the reasons why they would want to get married or make themselves look as though they do not have a unique purpose. I have seen people in the West who have lost their identity trying to usurp the role of, have lost their identity trying to usurp the role of gatekeeper once they learn about the power it involves. They do this for their own benefit without really knowing what it means to be a true gatekeeper. Being a false gatekeeper is not helpful to anyone. It can only be harmful to the usurper. These people need to understand that in the village, a person doesn't become a gatekeeper out of a desire for power or even because of sexual orientation. No, gatekeeping is a part of one's life purpose. And that's why I said not all. Nevertheless, there are some gatekeepers sprinkled in the midst of all of this confusion that is being pumped. All right. No, gatekeeping is a part of one's life purpose, announced before birth and developed through rigorous initiatory training to ensure that its power is not misused. So somebody before has to have knowledge, but we're in a generation like we've been in a lost generation for a long time. So we're remembering right now at this point in place. A gatekeeper is responsible for a whole village, a whole tribe. Like this is a large responsibility. Gatekeeping is not a game. Even though in the village, homosexual relationships are not commonly the subject of ritual, here in the West, America, all right, they have become so simply because of circumstances of life. The ash rituals and almost any other rituals I have described may be used to strengthen gay relationships. So they gave us some other rituals in the other part of the book. All right, so get your own. The spirit of intimacy. So bon fusame. Ancient African teachings in the ways of relationships. All right. And it closes out what we have looked at regarding intimacy, sexuality, ritual conflict, and loss applies also to homosexual relationships in the West. And that's why I say you got to go back and get it because, like, it talks about intimacy, it talks about sexuality, rituals, conflict, and even loss and divorce in this book. And it's not intense. It's an easy, simple, short, brief read. Actually, like you can do it in a day, you can do it in a day or two. Like the chapters are very brief. You see, I was here not even an hour and I gave you a chapter along with all of my interjections. All right. So what we have looked at regarding intimacy, sexuality, ritual conflict, and loss applies also to homosexuality or homosexual relationships in the West. Because any kind of relationship, unless it's false or empty or superficial, comes with problems. And there is a need to carefully maintain and sometimes repair it. Maybe the only difference for gays and lesbians would be to have other gatekeepers, in addition to non gay family members and friends involved in their rituals. All right, so at the end of the day, we all need love, we all need support. Stop outcasting those that could potentially be of spiritual benefit and assistance to you. Learn yourself, know yourself, love yourself. Don't get so caught up in what others think or what others say or how others feel about you. Know that you have a purpose. Know that there are communities of people who love you regardless of. I mean, and we should. Society focuses too much on what people are doing in their bedroom, and primarily because everybody is talking about what they're doing in their bedroom. So if we get back to a place where what happens in our bedrooms, stay in our bedrooms, we won't have this problem or this issue. because like it was said, oftentimes we didn't even see the gatekeepers. Like the gatekeepers, like they came out, they did their thing, and they was whew, like they was kind of like ghosting around here because they was always in spirit, like making stuff happen. Like, and again, we as heterosexual straight beings have the power and the ability to manifest things with our sexual energy. And so we ourselves should get in tune with our sexual energy and with spirit a little bit more and actually focus on spirit and learn how to channel and refocus and redirect our sexual energy to manifest those things that we say we want or we need in our lives. Yeah, and stop worrying about what other people doing if it's not affecting you, unless you're affected or infected by the situation, it shouldn't bother you, and then I guess we could even save or use this to segue into another conversation about what is it, biracial relationships, because that's another conversation that's kind of like you don't have to agree with it to know and understand that it exists and that once we start to tap into spirit, I mean, and we're operating in spirit, but still spirit's got to align. Like, yeah. Focus on spirit more than you do flesh. That's all I know. Life lesson number 1126 for today, if I recall correctly, was something like uh, tears help us to see clearer. Or let's see. Um, Focus on me. Oh, okay. Life lesson number 1126. Yes. Trust yourself through the process more than the process itself. Yes, because lately I've been on some trust the process, trust the process. Sometimes the process is rigged, whether you rigged it or other people rigged it. You know what I'm saying? So, regardless of your sexual orientation, regardless of your gender identity, regardless of your sexual behaviors, regardless of your origin, nationality, tribe, we have to trust ourselves like through our journeys. We have to trust ourselves through our process, through this life, through these lessons, more than we actually trust what is actually happening because it could be smoke and mirrors. And so the only thing that you can most definitely stay true to is yourself. And sometimes you can't even trust yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, we know like we can smoke and mirror things ourselves and we have the ability to tap into alternate dimensions that we can find ourselves trapped and lost in. And so still, if we trust ourselves through the process more than the process itself, we'll never be lost because we'll always be inside of us. All right, until next time, I'm Nexus, the goddess of information. This is Voices Radio, where valuable opportunities inspire collaborations to elevate society. We are radioactive, and you already know what it is. I'm gonna take you out the same way I brought you in. Nevertheless, I think I want to switch it up a little bit for the people pushing. I'm gonna switch it up, but I'm gonna keep it on Pushing to God one time. All right. I could just be like the person on the mic. I need somebody else to like do the mixing and whatnot. You know, I was trying to get back to where I was. Oh, there we are. Okay, we're gonna go. I'm just feeling on my SG-ish today a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? Love yourself. Don't look for it from nobody else. Stay on your old technology. Good old technology. Because if you focused on your purpose, then you focused on your grind. Don't let nobody stop yours.
HDMG, nigga.
It don't matter what you're doing in your bed,
Every
y'all.
day I'm on my grind, nigga. Plain and simple, I can never waste no time, nigga. I gotta get it, so I hustle around the clock every minute of every hour. I'm out here chasing the dollar, just trying to make me a grind. Every day I'm on my grind, nigga. Plain and simple, I can never waste no time, nigga. I gotta get it, so I hustle around the clock every minute of every hour. I'm out here chasing the dollar, just trying to make me a grind. I'm trapped inside a mind state. What a daily decisions I make might only add to the crime rate. Losing and gaining clients off the way my lines rate.
Hold on, pause, rewind. Okay, I'm gonna pause that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna rewind it, but I'm gonna pause it. All right, because when I just looked at the monitor just then, this is what I saw, right? So if y'all recall, you might have saw in my post. You can't see my knee because I have on some pants, but I'm gonna post a picture later. It's been 3 weeks since my fall. Yeah, I fell in the pavement and fall and I fell in it. All right. And my situation, as you can probably tell, was major. So this is what I did. So the first night I didn't do anything to it. The next night, well, the first night I just washed it off, you know what I'm saying, cleaned it up. The next night I went and hollered at my people. Shout out to my sister Golden. All right. And she had some turmeric. So she had whole turmeric root. And what I did was I took the turmeric root, I ground it down in her like bullet type machine. All right. And then I added a little bit of water to it and I made a paste. So I made a turmeric paste and I pasted it on my on my arm and on my knee and I wrapped it. All right. I left it on there for as long as I could stand. It said up to 24 hours. I left it on there probably like a cool 6, 7. And that was like pushing it because it was really intense. Like, think about it. Turmeric is a spice. All right. And so I could tell though that it was healing, it was purifying. And kind of like what it did was it created like a shell, like a barrier, like a coating over it. And so I'm going to tell you now, like wet or moist healing, as it's oftentimes referred to, I believe is the better method of healing a scar or a wound as opposed to dry healing, right? Where you just let it dry and create the scab and whatnot. You have like the big dark, yeah. And the reason I say that is because of how your pigmentation and your color is able to come back, all right? And then too, like so did turmeric that night. I didn't do it the next night. So that's day 2. Day 3, I didn't use turmeric. I just, washed it off real nicely and kept it kind of wrapped when I was out in the elements because of the environment I was in. Day 4, when I went to bed after the night and shower and clean up or whatever, I put the turmeric paste on there again. Woke up. I didn't leave it on there too long. Again, I kind of woke up in the middle of the night and removed it, washed it off because it was kind of irritating me in my sleep. Um, didn't put anything else on it for the next couple of days. I haven't put anything else on it. I didn't put anything else on it for the next couple of days. That Sunday, I got home, cleaned it up, removed the bandage that I had on it, and I put some of my mom's. Shout out to Mama Karen. I put some of my mom's special Nana Boo Boo's healing cream on it. Yes. So she concocted this cream when she was working in the yards one day and she fell and stumbled and she scraped her face, And so when you see her now, like it looks like nothing happened there ever. She has pictures, but aside from the pictures, like you wouldn't know that there were scars. So I can't tell you what her special formula is. Like she knows the ingredients. However, I will tell you that it's green. It smells as my mate would say, it smells earthy. They smell like nature. So yeah. Nevertheless, it's been 3 weeks, and this is what I'm looking like. All right. So it's looking really good. You should get you some. And so I've only used her cream on it since then. And that's why I say, like, okay, so the wet method. So and it's a little tender still in this spot right here, but it's nothing like it was. Like it was extremely tender and sore, but um so the wet method allows, or is said to allow for the skin cells to not get blocked and clogged, by the scab, and to be able to easily rejuvenate and to form with minimal blemishing. All right. And so we're gonna see what this thing look like in like maybe another 2-3 weeks. I say, yeah, another 3 weeks, and we should be in the money. And so at first I was applying it like once. Well, I was applying it twice a day because I was applying it in the morning and the night. I've been applying it a little more frequently now. And so with the wet method though, again, like I say, it's said to aid with the healing process. And so how did I keep it wet? I didn't wear a bandage on it, right? So that helped with the oxygen, because it needs to breathe and it needs that airflow to help it rejuvenate. And of course, the herbs and the minerals that are in the cream helped it as well. So when I get in the shower, what I would do was, because as you're moving throughout the day and the air is in it, it'll start to create and form like a covering naturally. So at nighttime, when I was in the shower, I would just under the water, like do this method, right? And it hurt a little bit, but clearly I have a high tolerance pain level. A little while ago, like I said, it was ironic because it was 3 years to an incident that led me to my other knee being messed up and me being like on a walker and crutches and whatnot. And so, came to so, where I messed up my knee, and when I was going to the wound care center, they would use like this little suction like cup thing on my knee to like flush it every time I went to keep it soft or whatever, and not let it. And they would take the like tweezers and whatnot and peel off whatever skin was coming on there, and then they use the little thing. It was like a little whirlpool on your knee. Like it felt so good, actually. Like but it felt good. Yeah. And so that's how I kind of learned that, because the sister was like, to be honest with you, Like they'll tell you over at this spot, to do X, Y, and Z. However, study, research, I believe, and even based on the type of scar that you have, like this is the best method. Man, I was healed up on the outside like super quick. It took like my bones and my joints a little bit of time to like do their thing, but on the outside, like, but I'm healing a whole lot quicker with this than I did with that because too, like my brother said, he was like, "Man, girl, you got vegetable skin." And I was like, "Vegetable skin." Like, yeah, that's that vegetable skin. That's what that vegan life would do to you. So when you eat them plant bases, like when you eat plant based, like you heal up different out here on some real rejuvenation type stuff. Like it's amazing. It really is. So holla at Mama Karen for your Nana Boo Boo cream or your Nana Amazing Healing Cream. Like the Nana Amazing Healing Cream is really for like everyday simple use. But for your more extreme situations, like that Nana Boo Boo, she gonna get you right, boo boo. Like for sure. And then especially if you have grandkids, if you have kids and they're rough and they have scars or eczema, extra dry skin, holler at us. All right. Mama Karen can get you straight with the Nana Amazing Healing Cream and the Nana Boo Boo Cream. Straight like that. I had to come back and plug that in because I'm seeing amazing results over here considering. And link with love from Nexus on IG. That's LWLNEXUS, linked with love from Nexus. Get your accessories, going up. Get your candy. Get your candy. All types of things. I'm keeping it simple today for the most part. But, I got it flipped around because I like to be able to see the extra spectacular stuff. But you see that, like that rock, like that. I just be on some weird stuff sometimes when it comes to myself. So that's kind of how that works, the ring. And then it's like, and then you see the thumb jump. Yeah, man, all types of hot stuff popping. Until next time, I'm going back over here to Pushing to God so I can finish with these rhymes. Oh my God. You already know. Gotta stay on my grind. Only way I'ma shine. Follow your purpose. What others think don't matter. Know what's in your heart. You gotta move and push through to get to the next chapter.
HDMG, nigga. Every day I'm on my grind, nigga. Plain and simple, I can never waste no time, nigga. I gotta get it, so I hustle around the clock every minute of every hour. I'm out here chasing the dollar, just trying to make me a crime. Every day I'm on my grind, nigga. Plain and simple, I can never waste no time, nigga. I gotta get it, so I hustle around the clock every minute of every hour. I'm out here chasing the dollar, just trying to make me a crime. I'm trapped inside a mind state. What the daily decisions I make might only add to the crime rate. Losing and gaining clients out the way my lines rate. But not these lyrics, I'm just staying on my pivot. A man on a mission who keeps grams for the sniffles. I'm supposed for my children, now the beam of Benz a Bentley. And no, that's not subliminal, just stating how I feel. I've been rapping 7 years and never smelled a record deal. Counting thousand after thousand, loving the way it pile up. A high fly nigga, I'm positive I'm a pilot. I'm positive that my style's such a special kind indeed. You can find me in the cut on that special kind of weed. 65 or 8, 400 for the silver. I swear that I'ma wear you niggas squarer than a crystal. And I'm blasting like a pistol. All 100 Jews with oozes, all cocked and aimed at Hitler. I'm the center of attention. Every day I'm on my grind, nigga. Plain and simple, I can never waste no time, nigga. I gotta get it, so I hustle around the clock. Every minute of every hour, I'm out here chasing the dollar, just trying to make me a grind. Every day I'm on my grind, nigga. Plain and simple, I can never waste no time, nigga. I gotta get it, so I hustle around the clock. Every minute of every hour, I'm out here chasing the dollar, just trying to make me a grind. Determined to see a brighter day despite so many obstacles. Problem after problem got me rolling up a lot of dope. I don't know karate, so nigga, we cannot chop it up. And as far as this pistol, just guess what the fuck I got it for? Nothing but exotic stuff. Every time I'm rolling up, pimp papers, I don't fuck with blunts. Get faded like you baby. Shirt, words to this amazing perk. All day I'm blazing up, chasing money around the clock until I feel I'm paid enough. I'm serving like a caterer, Jordans with the laser cuts. I'm sending out my granny house, trying to stack this paper up. Bitch, scale weed and such, distribute it to customers. Don't confuse this as music, I was really getting my hustle on. Serving off my mobile phone, trying to get that Yale gone. One more play to making, I'm just praying that I make it home. Living in the city where these haters want to take you under, so I stay away from them and continue getting money. Every day I'm on my grind, nigga. Plain and simple, I can never waste no time, nigga. I gotta get it, so I hustle around the clock. Every minute of every hour, I'm out here chasing the dollar, just trying to make me a grind. Every day I'm on my grind, nigga. Plain and simple, I can never waste no time, nigga. I gotta get it, so I hustle around the clock. Every minute of every hour, I'm out here chasing the dollar, just trying to make me a grind.